Now I would like to invite Professor Kähler, who actually is a former president of ISAAC and current board member of that society, also professor at the University of Aveiro.
Well, thank you very much for giving me the word here, and it's a pleasure to be here. In particular, I have to say that considering the event, well, as a student, I only had some very vague ideas about mathematics and mathematicians in Latin America. I mean, the only name I came across, of course, is Alberto Calderon. I mean, that's unavoidable, but one didn't have actually that much contact. And the first clear idea I got actually was when I visited Sinvestav and IPN in Mexico City in '96, where I started collaborating with some Mexican mathematicians and also meet a lot of young and eager students. And particularly, I saw that these students were very high motivated, but actually lacked contacts. So they were basically at their own university and didn't have. So that's why when I was president in ISAAC and Duván Cardona actually contacted us with taking the initiative to if we could actually collaborate with ICMAM, we were actually rather happy and rather eager to actually do it. And as Paul already said, it was starting in 2022. And what actually at that time was making me most happy about the whole thing is that it was started as an initiative by young Colombian mathematicians who were by themselves very active. So normally you have basically old people actually preparing the future, etc. But here it's very nice to see actually to have a group of young mathematicians who are actually very eager to actually develop something, not only on their own country, on their level, but also on a Latin American level and even connecting. Because one of the things which is right now in the current year interesting to observe is you have the support not only from Colombia and from others, but also from Central Asia. So basically, two almost opposite poles in the world. And if you look at the speakers, you have speakers from South America, South Africa, from India, etc. So from all over the world, which tells us that this initiative is not only actually making more visibility to Latin American students on young researchers, but also getting them into contact with mathematicians all over the world. And it's rather nice to see that one happening so that the mathematical community globally gets more to contact with each other and gets more actually active on a much lower level than only having the big shots meeting each other at the ICM, where most of the things is also just politics and not mathematics. So here it's wonderful to see actually having all these activities and focusing on what we all love the most, which is basically mathematics and particularly analysis and PDEs. So, and I hope I'm now a former president. I finished my time last year at the ISAAC Congress in Astana. And in any case, I hope that this collaboration continues in the future and rather on a the same intensive level it happened in the past. And particularly also as a former president, I'm very willing to support all these initiatives. It's always wonderful to see what is actually being organized here and following the talks and the rest. So all I can do is wish you all a wonderful conference and wonderful talks and a nice time with our main topic, which is also our main hobby. So let's just have fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Professor Kähler, former president of ISAAC, for your very kind words. Actually, then, just I will use some minutes maybe to make the people familiar with uh, with our conference. So let me do it just by sharing the website of the conference. There you will see this is a conference organized by the ICMAM Latin America, which actually, for the people that are not familiar with ICMAM, is the international community of mathematicians from Latin America. We have the support in name of ISAAC, as we heard from Professor Paula Cerejeiras and Professor Kähler, but also this time, we are very happy to have with us as an invite center, the Romanovsky Institute of Mathematics, and also the Uzbekistan Academy of Science. So we have with us Professor Erkin John Karimov, which actually will be the first plenarist of this session. Right, so in the website, you will see, for instance, that we have for instance, one book, Analysis and PDE in Developing Countries, which actually have published extended abstracts of our previous conference. So we expect also to have a book dedicated to publishing contributions from speakers and from attendees of this conference. Um, our website has dedicated enough information about our plenary speakers and also our semi-plenary speakers. You will see there plenaries from United States, from England, from Uzbekistan, from Italy, from South Africa, Brazil, and Sweden, right? And we have kind speakers from different countries in Latin America, from Mexico, also other parts of the world, South Korea, from Uzbekistan, from Portugal, from India, um, from Ghana, from El Salvador, and so on. So these are pictures of our speakers: Claudia Gareto, Karin Deres Howell, Jacqueline Godoy Mesquita, who actually is the president of UMALCA, which is the Latin American Association of Mathematics, the highest authority of mathematics in Latin America, recognized by the International Mathematical Union. Also, we're going to have with us Alessia Scanelli, Elena Cordero, as I mentioned before, Professor Erkin John Karimov, Anahit Galsian, and Professor Joachim Tov, who actually is the current president of ISAAC and who will give a plenary talk the last day. It will be the closing session. So this is, you will see here our semi-plenary speakers. We are going to have mostly talks in partial differential equations and numerical analysis. This is the team of organizers, but I want to take your attention to the young ones, right? Manuel Martinez from Guatemala, Edison Lopez from Colombia, from Medellin, and Frederico Poku from Ghana. So it has been very nice to have the help, the effort of this and the support of these young mathematicians who actually joined us recently in ICMAM Latin America and that have been working very hard in terms of the logistic at ICMAM, but also in research. So it's very nice to have this kind of young mathematicians with all the potential that they have shown, right? So I want to take your attention to this. And also our scientific committee, you can see Professor Michael Luchansky, Professor Paula Cerejeiras, Uwe Keller, Professor Joaquín Toff, Claudia Gareto, and from Venezuela, Carmen Judith Vanegas. So you will see our scientific program then will be held until the next March 18, right? As I mentioned before, we are going to have the plenary talk of Professor Erkin John Karimov at 14 today in Central European time, right? The last talk will be the one of Alessia Scanelli. So if you want to have information, just visit our website and look information about these sessions, right? So this is all that I can mention about um, our ISAAC-ICMAM conference. But also I want to take some minutes maybe to show you information about, or to share with you information about ICMAM Latin America. So ICMAM Latin America, the International Community of Mathematicians from Latin America, start in 2020 with a conference that was dedicated for Colombian mathematicians, but actually, because that was the pandemic time, we saw the potential that virtual meetings have, right? And then we start organizing several conferences for people in Latin America, for people in other parts of the world. We were very happy to have with us in those conferences recognized mathematicians, as Professor Paula Cerejeiras mentioned before. We had with us Terence Tao, Carlos Koenig, Charlie Pfefferman, and many other mathematicians, right, that have shared with us different results, that have shared with us talks that have been very inspiring for young mathematicians. So in our website, you will see that we have different activities. For instance, we organize different conferences for this year, for 2026. We have this conference that ISAAC-ICMAM conference, but also I want to take your attention to the next ICMAM Latin America conference that will be held in July. In that conference, we are going to have different mathematicians. We are very happy because we are going to have again Professor Charlie Pfefferman from Princeton University. Actually, Erkin John Karimov, who is present here, will chair the session of Professor Ingrid Avechis, right? We are going to have Pierre Chapira with us, Claire Boissan, Susana Terracini, Ragni Pien, Enrique Suazua, Michael Ruchansky, Luis Seco, Jung Hu, who actually got the Fields Medal recently, Cristiana De Filippis, who actually got the European Mathematical Society Prize recently, Professor Luigi Rodino, who actually we dedicate to him the past ISAAC-ICMAM conference, Elena Cordero, Antonio Cordova, Elena Snold, Victoria Gold, Barbara Kaltenbaker, and María Ángeles García Ferrero. So different mathematicians here you will see. Even we are going to have with us again Simon Donaldson, who got the Fields medals in the 80s, right? So you will see there, if you go to the website, you will see information about these speakers, and also ICMAM Latin America recently have established an agreement with the Colombian Mathematical Society. So we are going to chair the Congress of Applied and Industrial Mathematics this year in June of the Colombian Mathematical Society. You are welcome because to participate in this conference, because this conference will be in person. We have in ICMAM several virtual conference, but also in-person conference. So I strongly invite you to maybe to be familiar with this conference and to see the scientific program that we are dedicating for this conference. So as you see, ICMAM Latin America then is very active, organizing conference. We have with us also with the support of the Ghent Analysis and PD Center and the editor-in-chief of this series, Professor Michael Ruchansky. We have a series of books that actually publish extended abstracts of the ICMAM conferences. And also we have recently also agreement with other editor of Springer, Robinson Dos Santos, who actually will allow us to publish a series of books in Springer in Trends in Mathematics, but dedicated to all the areas in mathematics. So this, of course, is very nice for us because in this series of books, we publish results of established mathematicians, right? Speakers and of our conference, but also, as I mentioned before, um, we also publish the work of young researchers, right? That's the way in which we we make visible, right, the work of young researchers in Latin America and in other parts of the world. I just want to mention that the publication in our series of book follows the same process that same process of revision that the standard articles in good scientific journals. So we really are very committed with the publication of high quality works, right? But at the same time, to provide a good feedback to young mathematicians that actually want to publish in our series of books. So maybe more dedicated, more related with this conference, we have an early career group. This is a group of young mathematicians that actually are from Latin America. And the idea is that this is a early career group. We provide for them mentorship in the organization of conferences and also in research works. We are very happy because this young mathematician joins our society just the last year, 2025, mostly all of them. And several of them actually have started publishing papers in very good journals, have finished bachelor and master thesis under the supervision of some ICMAM authorities, right? And then we are very happy to see how much young people that join ICMAM Latin America is pursuing in some way a good career. So there is also a project in ICMAM dedicated to the visibility of the work of women mathematicians. You can visit our website and to see there open calls and so on that we have for women mathematicians. Our agreement uh, with the Colombian Mathematical Society about the project of applied and industrial mathematics. And related with this conference, right, we have a project in analysis and partial differential equations uh, from developing analysis and partial differential equations in developing countries. So the idea of this research group, right, is to make visible the work of young mathematicians that actually join us, not only from Latin America, but also from other countries. We have, for instance, one of the organizers, Frederico Poku, who is from Ghana. He joined us recently. Manonde Bagidi from South Africa, who actually is doing his master thesis under my supervision. Also Edison Lopez, who is here, Nestor Quevedo from Colombia, Rafik Yegoyan from he's now in Belgium, but he's from Armenia, Manuel and Vanessa, right? So I really encourage you to visit our website and to see also information about our open calls, right? Different open calls that we have for different volumes that will appear this year or maybe the next one, right? We are at this moment accepting papers in different areas of mathematics, in differential geometry, who actually the editor of this book is the vice president of ICMAM Latin America, Professor Brian Grajales. And also we are accepting, as usual, articles in analysis and partial differential equation because there is a strong group in analysis working in ICMAM, but also recently we have we start receiving also articles in algebra and logic, with two editors that join us, one from Mexico and one from Colombia in these areas. So thank you very much for allowing me to share this information about ICMAM Latin America. About ICMAM Latin America, I think the next talk, the talk of Professor Erkin John Karimov will start in exactly 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So um, see you then in 20 minutes for the plenary talk of Professor Erkin John Karimov. Thank you very much.